Happy Friday from the swing. Great Friday morning. Gonna be a nice weekend. Man, a lot of news this week. Well, first off, let me tell you some personal things. So, been working for the last few months with the team at Mediafly and my team in support to launch a new community. Got that launched on Tuesday. Big system changes for the company and for our customers. So definitely, I missed a few things doing the comparison to due diligence, swapping off Zendesk, going over to UseResponse. But I got to say, so far this week, things have been ending better than they started. And so, but the cool thing too is I've actually got a couple of things I'm going to have to, from things I missed, I'm going to have to vibe code some solutions. I've already started kind of mapping out project plans for those, and they're all doable, which is exciting, which is kind of the whole, which I've talked about and what they talked about at SaaStr, the build versus buy. Definitely want to be buying your core systems of record, but the things in the middle, that's the stuff you code. So anyway, I'm excited to get that projects done. And this week too, I think I just read, or I was just listening to a podcast, and ChatGPT was the fastest company to get to 100 billion monthly users. So that was kind of cool. But the big thing that seems to be just this core focus of what's going to be happening kind of, I think, for the rest of this year, as the subsidies for tokens have kind of stopped. We're starting to see token efficiency be the top area for organizations. I think just a couple of months ago, everyone was like having token challenges, who could use the most, and now that they're having to pay for them, right? That's stopping. So I think, I know, well, what Uber used their whole 2026 budget in first 4 months. Now we're starting to see caps on monthly token usage. So token efficiency for you personal use, and also just for if you're working at a company, is really important. And there's a lot to this, and then I'm still learning, but just picking the fastest model, best model sometimes is the best choice. Slower models, if you think about it, if you're using a slower model and it takes longer to get to an outcome and you're having to course correct multiple times, remember, you're paying for every one of those chats in a thread. So your slower model might be cheaper, but it might take you longer to get to an outcome, thus it's costing you more. So I think this week there was some announcements that the companies are already trying to solve this for the enterprise users with, and I'm totally going to space the term, anyway, the technical term for what they're calling it, like a router, or basically a token or a model picker, are being now rolled out inside some of these harnesses, which is great. But I also think you can do this yourself. So I'm going to try to play with this weekend. I'll tell you how it goes. I'm going to build some skill changes I've already talked about how I've got my project files. So I start all my project chats. If I'm working on a project, start the chat with, read the project. And then that way we reset for everything we've learned over the last, whatever, week or two of whatever I'm working on. And then I'm going to add in there, because I already have things happening where I'm getting interviewed for what is the outcome I want for the chat session I'm doing. And then I want to be picking the best model for the project that I want to do. For example, this weekend I'm going to build this dashboard tool that goes onto our community for our internal users to be able to look at tickets and posts for each of their customers. So I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right tokens or the right model for token efficiency, so I can be a good shepherd for my organization and not just spend money where it doesn't need to be spent. Anyway, that's kind of where we are this week. Man, things are still changing. Cool thing though, I gotta say, as I'm getting more and more into the Glean product, the admin, the way that the platform as a service, you've heard me talk about knowledge management, intellectual swarming, creating an orchestrated intelligence layer. I do really think Glean and products like Glean are the way that enterprises should be looking at the success that we've seen just from knowledge sharing within the organization. Definitely have some things we want to tighten up, but we're now going to build our AI strategy and how we go and educate our teams and reward the teams with creating skills that work for their use cases is really exciting. So that's kind of the next phase of what we're going to be kicking off. But I think without the Glean platform, I think it would be much harder. Anyway, so, and also the the new features that are coming out in Glean. They have a new skills feature, a couple other things as well. They're doing some token optimization offerings as well. So anyway, lots of cool stuff happening. Thanks for the time. Hope your Friday goes well. Hope you have a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy stuff, or also, well, do that. And then also, you know, keep building. Find a problem, build yourself a solution, and yeah, lead from XML Elevation. Throw a comment down there if you're struggling with token efficiencies or anything else. Let's chat. All right, bye.